Hi, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk with Kyley Paul. Today, our special guest is Kimberly Snider. Kimberly is a creative, outgoing person who thrives on motivating and inspiring others. She advocates for the team and company. Her natural positivity and optimism inspires people around her. Kimberly is an advocator that makes things happen, turning leaders and teams' thoughts, ideas, and philosophies into action. She has an innate ability to connect with people, grasp the overarching strategy, as well as the struggles, spot relevant patterns and issues, and brainstorm a path to forge ahead. Kimberly has a contagious enthusiasm. Her cheerful nature, engaging style is able to motivate and inspire individuals and groups to excellence. Welcome, Kimberly Snider. Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Nice to see you. And we also have with us Kyley Paul. Kyley is a vision planner. Her mission is to empower everyone around her by activating their awareness and giving effective tools to create and enjoy their ideal life. Kyley is a single mom of 2 boys and acting CEO of 3 companies. As her schedule and lifestyle became more demanding, in response, she developed efficient strategies to maximize her time, organization, and execution in life and business, which she now shares with you. Welcome, Kyley Paul.
Thank you.
And today on Let's Talk, we are going to be talking leadership with these 2 amazing women. And Kimberly, I'm going to start off with you. Who do you look for inspiration or mentorship?
Well, thanks. First of all, I'm really excited to be here, and thanks for the wonderful introduction. Happy to see you, Kyley, as always. For inspiration on leadership, so I'm a big Tony Robbins fan, so I'm always looking and listening to what he has to say. I've been listening to Ed Mylett. Do you listen to Ed Mylett?
I've met him a couple times. He's one of my favorite human beings on earth, actually.
I would love to meet him. And he just seems to really speak the truth really in life. And he is limitless. Like, he just believes, like, let's do it, let's try it, let's keep going. So he's really inspiring. Definitely, I'm listening and reading Brene Brown, and Oprah I'm still on her distribution list. She definitely inspires me. And kind of on a personal note, I would say my dad. So my dad died in 2016, but I would say growing up, I felt like my dad empowered me that I could do anything. And I so believe that. And I think it's because he just kept saying to me, you can do anything. You can do anything you want. Like, you can do that. You can do that. He was raised by a single mom. And so he made sure that he knew that I could do anything. And so I think that is always in my heart, and always a belief that I have.
Wow, that's lovely. Thank you for sharing that, Kimberly. That's wonderful. Kyley?
Can you repeat the question? Who I look for in leadership and inspiration, specifically in leadership?
Look to in leadership for inspiration or mentorship?
I mean, I agree with everyone that Kim said, and I try to have mentors all over the place too, is my kind of goal. So I have mentors in the form of books. I have mentors in the form of like social media influencers and podcasters, like the Ed Myletts and Andy Frisella's and Brad Lee, and those guys are really good. And I feel like their message is very authentic, what Kim is saying, and they share as much of their hardships as they do as their wins, and they share their lessons. So that is the really tangible part from them, and the relatable piece. So they tell a lot of stories of everything. And then I also like look into my community and people that are retired mentors locally that I connect with on a regular basis, friends who I surround myself with and have strengths in different areas than I do. So I try to make sure I have kind of the full spectrum where I'm getting in-person deep connection through mentorship and leadership, as well as kind of hearing messages and then being able to read and reread them and get new things out of them each time through the messaging.
Yeah, that's great, Kyley. And I like that you mentioned goals, because that kind of leads me into my next question about, as far as leadership goals, what are your current goals, ladies? Kyley, I'll start with you. Where are you going?
That's a hard question right now.
What is your goal today? No.
Yeah.
She has 10-year goals. She has like giant goals, and she has like goals for today.
Yes.
It's kind of a funny question right now, actually, because my businesses, I'm in a huge transition period right now with my businesses and everything. And I'm sure I'll talk about it a little bit in about a couple months, but there's a lot going on. So my leadership goals, I think right now, is to stay as authentic to me as possible, because I've got so much going on. And if I lose myself, which I have, and I've been transparent about in my videos, in December, I was lost. I had lost myself. I had to get myself back on track. And it took a long time because I have so much on the go. So I think my leadership goal for myself and for my team, because it impacts them, teams, is to stay authentic and stay on task and make sure that I'm executing what I need to on a daily basis, which includes my mental and physical health as priority. Otherwise, things derail very quickly. So I think that's my major objective. And the other thing is, like, I have a couple checklists of great leaders that have things, and it's like, check in with your team, individuals every day. Are you doing this? Does everybody know their tasks? Does everyone know the goals of the company? Those, like, and I make sure to revisit those very often so that I don't kind of lose sight of the like foundation, and making sure that the foundation is always intact.
Yeah, Kim, what's your thought on that? And with leadership and goals, do they necessarily go hand in hand in the same way, or can they fork off a bit?
Yeah, I think you're a great leader, Kyley. I think your heart is always in the right place. It's true about being authentic, showing up. We were just on a leadership development call with some leaders, and I was saying, we were talking about difficult conversations, and we all approach life. We all tackle a problem, an activity, people differently and uniquely, and absolutely. So we need to be kind of unique and authentic in our approach. And just because that's the way one leader operates, either their day or their goals, but you have to do it kind of according to your own kind of strengths and talents. Definitely for me, so I have recently been accredited with my coaching certificate. So I'm looking to impact 100 leaders' lives this year. And so I'm on a, you would love it, Kyley, because I've got like a tick sheet of like, who are we working with? Who are we impacting? I have a podcast called Overflow, and Kyley was on there sharing with us her limitless life. And I'm really hoping this podcast is out for people to inspire them to listen to women like yourself, Kyley, and other leaders that are living in their, what I would call living in their overflow or living in their awesomeness. So that's one of my goals. And also a goal around, same with you, around like mental health and mental well-being. And when I talk about, living in your overflow, I think about living your best life, or whatever that is for you, whether it's running 3 companies or whether it's traveling the world or raising kids, whatever it is. And so I'm also focused on living my best life. I'm adding some adventure. Kyley has inspired me, so I'm adding some adventure to my year, my 2022.
Great.
Yeah, and I'm going to make sure that I role model what I talk about in Overflow and what the guests role model. So
awesome.
Look out 2022, Keri.
Well, congratulations on your certification. And
thank you.
I wholeheartedly know you can accept that challenge for 100 leaders, and definitely you'll get there. I know you will, and you'll get there quickly, because
thank you.
You're very inspiring. with that, being a leader, Kim, and like you said, you were on a leadership call, risks come with leadership. What would you say is one of your bigger risks or more important risks that you took to get to where you are as a leader today?
I think Kyley knows my story here, where a big risk for me was leaving corporate. And so I worked with some fantastic people, some fantastic leaders, in a great company, and life threw a few curveballs and obstacles my way. And so after 2016, about 2017, I decided to become an entrepreneur on my own. And I met some fabulous women entrepreneurs like Kyley. Brenda Halloran is a mentor of mine. And so met some really fantastic women in the community who kind of cheered me on and lifted me up when I needed it, and helped me find the way to being a business woman. So that would be one of my biggest kind of risks I took. And I surrounded myself with some great people. How we found each other, Kyley, I'm not sure. I think it was out of the women entrepreneur group, but just found some great people to cheer me on and lift me up, and also equally challenge me, Keri. Like, they were they became friends, but they were business women first, and they wanted me to be successful. So friendships aside, they were helping me with my business, and
That's great.
Truly invaluable.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah. Women supporting women. Let's go, ladies. Business owners, business life. Kyley, what do you see as your biggest risk?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I take a risk every day, at least one. I think I'll say this, like, being an entrepreneur is not easy. Having a staff, when you like adding that factor, is not easy. Adding shareholders is not easy. Adding business partners is not easy. Adding a board of directors, all of these things, all these layers that you can add and scale your business to are risks. I even believe, like, me deciding to continue my businesses every single day is a risk for me. I'm the owner. So every single day that I choose to operate these businesses is a risk. I mean, starting them with 2 babies, what kind of mental person does that? Me? Like, that's a major risk. I had 0 business knowledge. Risk. Like, there's all these things. And I'm teaching at Conestoga College right now, the entrepreneurship course. Yes. And one of the videos that's in one of the modules is Elon Musk. And he talks about, he says, people think that I don't have any fear. He said, that's not true. What it is I choose that my vision is more important than the fear I feel. So that's the risk. I'm acutely aware of every risk I am taking on a daily basis. My vision is more important, and I believe will have more impact than the fear of the risk on a daily basis.
So good, really.
Yeah, and that is good. And I think that's why this conversation is important, ladies. And you two are, great speakers on this, because you're both entrepreneurs, and we don't want to sugarcoat leadership, but we want to say it's possible too. For those young women out there, those entrepreneurs, those people who want a business life and to build your own brand. So with that being said, you guys both have organizations. How do you align your leadership skills and your organization with that vision that you have for your organization? How do you align it?
I mean, the biggest thing is being transparent, I think, and sharing it with my team and having it written down very clearly. So if I can't explain it to someone on the street, then it's probably not a very clear path to achieving it. So I make sure that I'm writing everything down, and I often do it backwards. So if I have a $100,000 a month goal, then I work it backwards. How do I get there? What does that mean? How many sales is that? How many sales in each service, whatever it is, so that I can get there. So defining the goals really clearly and being transparent with them is is how I kind of achieve that.
Nice. Kimberly, how about you?
Yeah, thanks, Keri. When I designed Peoplebrain, so the company, the HR leadership that I run, it's called Peoplebrain. I think I've talked to you about this, Kyley. I think about left brain and right brain. And often people think about like the creative and the logical, but I would say the right brain is like the visionary. It's like the Steve Jobs. It's the person who, shares the big picture of why we're doing what we're doing, how it impacts lives, and really drawing that picture. And on the left brain, I imagine it to be all the cubicles, or we're all on Zoom. So it's all the little squares in our left brain. And so beautiful leaders like Kyley, you want to share, what is your vision for our company? What does success look like? And then help each of those little squares on the Zoom understand what their job is and how they play a role in us achieving that great big vision. And so that's what I always help leaders think about when we think about vision is, yeah, you're the leader, but you can't do all the things. You've got someone on your team that's doing that. And so they're the ones on the left brain doing their task, what's important to the company. And so there's kind of a bridge between left brain and right brain. The right is the visionary describing, and there's a bridge that kind of connects what the work you do, how it impacts. And then there's kind of that two-way conversation. So
yeah,
that's my point of view.
Yeah, I like that, the left brain, right brain. And with that, we talked about mentors and where people are getting their inspiration from. You mentioned, you and Kyley hooked up at the Women Entrepreneurship, and you talked about, Tony Robbins and Oprah. Now, if you're not getting some inspiration or support from other women in your community, I know books is a huge factor for you both. So what books would you recommend, Kimberly, for somebody who wants to learn about leadership?
I was hoping you'd ask. So one of the books, and it's on my goal. Have you read this? Have you read this, Kyley, The Burnout Epidemic by Jen Moss?
No, but I feel like I need to.
Jen Moss is the local Waterloo leader, but she also writes for the Harvard Business Review. And she's really talking to leaders about burnout. We have a new puppy. He's a guard dog. You can hear him, so I apologize. But she talks to leaders. So we definitely talk about self-care and making sure that we take care of ourselves. But in this book, I recommend reading the last chapter first, which is for leaders and taking care of yourself. But it talks about how we help our teams and our people, the individuals, not burn out. And so I've got all my Post-it notes and my highlights. That's one that I would strongly recommend, especially for leaders and teams. The other one that I've just started reading it's called TGI Today by Brianne Ligori. And so TGI Today is a new book. And she talks about not just wishing that it was TGIF, that it was thank goodness it's Friday, like thank goodness it's today. And not only is it a read and an inspiration to for you to slow down, appreciate the moments of today, it's also a bit of a journal as well. So it causes you, there's some different kind of exercises and self-assessments. So TGI Today, I think it's actually just launched today. I was one of the first readers. I think she launches her book on March the 1st. So that would be yesterday.
Wow.
And the only other book, I thought I had it, I was going to bring it to show you, Kyley, is it's a Gabby Bernstein journal. And
I've got a few of hers here.
Yeah, so she's actually got a beautiful journal. And I would just suggest to all leaders, can we just pause a moment and yes, there's a lot of reading and a lot of messages and inspiration, but also maybe take a minute and think about, what do you want? What are your goals? What would make you live an awesome life? What is best life to you? What is something that's been on your mind, but maybe because of the pandemic or because it's so busy or because you have 3 companies and 2 children and all the things, what's something that you're dreaming of and how can we make it possible? And so my third book to recommend is just, a really good journal to cause you to pause. And you must have journals, Kyley.
Yeah, I was going to say that's part of my morning practice, and I feel off when I don't do it. So I
Take time.
journal, every single morning. I do a gratitude, a celebration, then usually I'll like just do some free journaling as well. And I love what you said about like leaders taking time to reflect and things. So I'm reading 2 Vision books back to back, the founder of Mind Valley. So I just finished Code of Extraordinary Mind and I'm onto Buddha and the Badass. And he says in there, instead of having a target of I'm reading 50 or 60 books this year, he said he switched it to versus a means goal to an end goal. So a means goal is I want to go to college so that I can get a good job, so that I can buy a house. So instead, just so instead of I'm reading 50 books so that I'm always learning, he just said, I've switched it. My end goal is I am always learning and growing. So then that kind of takes also the pressure off of you and it makes it more leisurely and enjoyable versus I have to finish this book because I got to start another one because I've got my 50 goal, blah, 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 all the things. So switching the wording on how you're thinking about your growth and mastering your own life and how you're evolving, make it like more enjoyable. You're always learning. Maybe you're reading the same book for a month or whatever it is. You're still learning. I'm always learning and growing,
That's
so
beautiful.
Leadership book you asked for. I want to find my Jim Collins. So I am a huge fan of Jim Collins. So this is Good to Great. Great by Choice, probably one of my favorite leadership books, is the next one after this one.
Yes.
It shares really good foundational strategies and how to think about things. And it talks about it in a less pressure way too. I have a lot of like strategy and business tactics and leadership books here, but I like the way that he describes things and he makes it tangible so that you can put it into your business, but also from a bigger perspective so that you're not so kind of micro focused. You can see things from a bigger perspective and try and experiment as a leader too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jim Collins, me too.
We'll definitely put all those books with this segment, everyone. So don't feel you have to write all that down. We'll stick those in. Great recommendations, ladies. And I am going to leave you with this final question here. And let's go, those leaders out there, those young leaders, those entrepreneurs, let's show them, hey, stick with the path. So let's tell them your guys' biggest accomplishment. What are you most proud of that you've been able to do as a leader and in your business? Kimberly?
Keri. Gosh.
Pat yourself on the back, honey.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Thank you very much. I would say it's so funny, Kyley, like we were talking about, is it the goal for today or for the year, for 10 years? So this season, this winter, it's the first time ever we created an ice rink in our backyard. It's like a dream. Honestly, it's a childhood dream come true. Like we have never had, I wasn't in a sporty family. I've definitely been raising 2 sporty kids and I have a sporty husband. So it's a total dream come true. So my seasonal most proud accomplishment is I've learned to skate and stop. Like I can skate and stop like a hockey player, like shh. So that's one of my proud accomplishments of the season. And my biggest accomplishment is these 2 kiddos. They are 12 and a half and 15 and a half. And I'm so proud of them. And I'm so proud like to be a mom. It's quite an accomplishment raising 2 kids, and gosh, the things that you're trying to help them along the way, but also help them discover along the way. Being a mom and raising 2 kids, that's got to be my most biggest accomplishment for sure. Still working on being good at it and better each day, and still working at it, but they're definitely my biggest accomplishment.
That's amazing. And I did see that Facebook post, honey. I saw it. rink. That was amazing. You guys did a great job, and good for you learning how to skate, because sometimes as adults we're like, oh, I'm past that point, but that in doing that, you showed your boys what a leader you are. You
Exactly.
rose to the task and accomplished it. And definitely being a mother means being a leader, and you're in put in a leadership role. So congrats on that. Kyley.
I for sure am going to say I'm most proud of my mindset growth over the last 7 years and my commitment to it, because like that growth has allowed me to be more present in my business, be more effective in my business as a leader, be more present with my kids. And I was just thinking when you said about your seasonal goal with the skating rink, I want to reflect on what an incredible summer I had with my boys and my mom that was along the ride for most of it. And we just chose to have fun all summer and chose to do a ton of things and make a ton of memories. And it was incredible, but I would probably not have done that if I hadn't done all the mindset work and all of the actual work in my businesses to allow me to get to that point. So choosing to contribute and work on my own personal mindset growth every day has a ripple effect in every area of my life.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Totally inspiring.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this talk, ladies. This was wonderful talking about leadership. You are two inspiring women, two inspiring leaders, and this is what women supporting women means, and having this conversation and letting everybody in on it. Let's share it with the world, right?
Amen.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for the
Take
invitation.
care, everyone.
Thank you.